Hello, welcome back to Falls Hillside Home. Jason here on the hillside. Got a few projects I'm gonna give you a little heads up on. I'm gonna work on one of them today to show you. So let me show you this. Oh, look how green and pretty it is. I love it. You can see I got the cabin there. I'm working in the garage. I have no power in my garage right now. I'm trying to figure that out. Gonna work on the truck tomorrow. I'll replace the starter, but look how green and beautiful it is up here. I absolutely love it. So, one thing I wanted to show you was my chicken coop. I don't know if I've showed you this before, but it's an 8x8 building I picked up for about 175 bucks on Facebook Marketplace, so not bad. This is my chicken coop. As you see, there's no windows in here for a breeze, and the chicks are getting a little bit bigger. So, I'll let you know projects that we're going to work on. Here's what we're going to work on today. You see, I've already put somewhat of a window in up here. I like how it goes along. We're going to finish trimming it in, and there's just like burlap wrapping all over the building to kind of give it protection. But I'm going to trim it in like I did the cabin. I'm going to paint it, make it look real nice and pretty. And we're also going to move it a little bit further down the hillside where the goats will be kept later. Big fence will have its own run and everything like that. So you'll see that in the future too, hopefully soon. Let's take a look at these chicks. If you go back and look some of my earlier videos, you can see when I first got them, just little babies. They're really starting to grow up. And we have, actually they're starting to roost out here, up towards the top. So, over here to the right, that's going to be the roosting area. And then over here to the left will be the nesting boxes. And then once I get it moved and they're ready to go outside, I'll put a little door in, probably right there somewhere in the center, so they can get out into the run anytime they want to. You see, they've gotten really comfortable. So look here, they'll come up and I think I got something already, but I don't. I want to show you what I used to get them to. This one will come up right here. Come, chick, 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 chick. Well, one has been coming up here and sitting. So eat out of my hand. So, been trying to get these chicks to eat out of my hand for quite some time. I used scrambled eggs. They might kind of seem wrong to some of y'all, but they need that protein. Oh, there we go. Check this out. See, she came up here and she wants to eat right out of my hand. She's ready. So these are little black soldier fly larvae, and if you watch other homesteaders, you've probably heard of this before, seen them use it. Oh yeah, they're loving it, right? So anyway, oh, they love that stuff. And I'll throw some in there so they'll get used to scratching. So when I release them out into the yard here, they'll scratch, get some ticks, get some bugs, crickets, things they naturally eat. So it's not a sponsored video or anything, but I want to check that out. Grub Terra, about $12 for this bag. This lasted me a good bit, and you can see that I've barely even used any of it. So let me give them just a little more real quick, and we'll get started on this project. I said, love that. They haven't flew outside on their own yet. They don't really try to escape. Which I'm trying to do it now for the first time as I'm trying to do a video. Yeah, I've got 2 roosters in there. That's one of them right there. I call him Spotty, a little Easter egger. And then somewhere in here, there's a Rhode Island red rooster. He's supposed to be, I think that's him over there. Up on the other side of that block. He's a little bit smaller than the rest of them. He's catching up really quick. I think that's him over there. So, anyway, that's my chicken coop set up. I wanted to use a building like this for the chicken coop. I think it's going to work out really great. And, well, let me show you how I'm going to build this window. Alright, first thing we need to do to start this window project on the other side of the chicken coop. So I have to get that burlap bagging off of it. And you see, there's plenty of place up there. I'm sure there's a nest in there sometime, or some type of rat's nest or bird's nest. It can be kind of gross. I think I see it kind of bulging down right there. Anyway, I'm going to take a utility knife, cut that off real quick. All right, I got all that cleaned up, burlap sack. So if you see here where the OSB plywood, this OSB board, not really plywood, but anyway, where one piece ends and the other piece begins there in between, what I'm going to do is measure from that joint about 19 inches. Oh, 1 second, kind of hard to hold the tape measure or hold the camera and do this at the same time. So anyway, I'm going to come down about 19 inches right there, and then I'm going to nail up a like a furring strip. You know, I used it's like 1x2, something like that. It's going to be the trim, but for right now, what we're going to do is nail that up all the way across, and then I'm going to use that as a guide for my circular saw, so I'll get a nice straight cut for my window there. And I'll show you what that looks like. I just nailed up my trim here. Go all the way across, so when I run my circular saw, it's going to act as a guide to help keep me nice and straight as I run along there, because without that I wouldn't be able to keep it steady. It's going to be a real nasty cut. And I'm going to have you know, about 2 inches there to, you know, cover any gaps, but this is also going to hold our screen in place, so we don't want too much play there. Even with the guide, my cut's not going to be this saw is not the best saw that I'm using, and the way that I'm cutting, I really don't like it. I wish I had a different saw, but it is what it is. I'm going to use what I have, and show you how we're going to set this saw to cut just the plywood out and not really hit any of the studs either, because that's going to be important. So if you'll take a look right here, what we want to do is just cut as deep as this red part is, right? We don't want to get into this wall or into the stud. You kind of see just a little bit of stud in the corner there that both of these pieces of OSB are nailed to. We really don't want to hit that. So this is how we tackle that task. Now you can take any type of ruler, tape measure. I do have a tape measure here, but I'm going to use my level, just a little short level. So what we're going to do is going to put that right up there, gives us a nice little edge. And you can see that is about 3/4 of an inch. So what we're going to do is set our circular saw to 3/4 of an inch. Now this is really for you guys that are, and gals that are really beginning. Maybe you haven't had much experience with a circular saw. Maybe it intimidates you, and I get it. These tools are inherently dangerous to use. So this is our circular saw. It's all about safety, right? Make sure your saw is unplugged. If you accidentally hit your trigger while you're doing this, it could really cause you a lot of pain. Lose a finger, a stomach, something. Depends on how you're handling your equipment. All right, so back here you have a little lever. Now each saw is different. This one happens to have a lever right there. And what that allows you to do is adjust this gauge here, okay? So I'm gonna bring that. There, you see how I don't have as much room there anymore? I'm gonna take it up, take it down. So what we wanna do is give us about 3/4 of an inch from this piece here to the tip of the tooth of your saw blade. So I know I'm going to have to bring it down a little bit more. I wish I could take this to the garage and show you, but I have no power in the garage. It's another project that I'm working on. But you know what? I got to take care of my chickens. So, let's see. This is roughly going to be, I really want to show you how this looks. Let me take it over this side. Now that's the thing about these tools. You can learn to read them upside down. All right, so you can see right there, I'm still over. I'm almost at an entire inch right there. By the time that blade circles around, it's going to cut out about 1 inch of material. We want 3/4 of an inch. And another adjustment right there. And we are almost good right there, I think. So by the time that blade comes around, it's going to give us about 3/4. Yep. So I think I'm going to fasten it down right there. So again, for this saw, that lever, here we go. We're going to bring that down. And before we start, make sure it's nice and in place, and it is. So next thing I gotta do is find my safety glasses. Do not want to cut this out without safety glasses. I'm gonna be up on a ladder. I don't like being on the ladder using a circular saw. Circular saws aren't my favorite saws anyway. If you hit something, you know, it'll kick back. You need to watch that. Plus a big no-no that I'm doing today is I really don't have a choice. I'm working by myself. I don't really have anybody to come up here today to help me out. So it's got to get done. As the weather gets warmer, these chickens need that airflow. They're depending on me to take care of them. So I want to get up there and use this circular saw. We're going to make a plunge cut first, and then run it the length of that guide. And then might have to scoot it back a little bit and run it again. What I'll try to do though, instead of making that plunge cut, if we can start right here, we don't even have to make a plunge cut. I can just run it all the way down. And what I want to do is keep that motor, because that's where all the weight's going to be, right? So if that motor's down, it can kind of help me keep steady too. So what I can do is start here. And you see how the guide, we're not talking about the wood guide, we're talking about the guide on the tool. It's flat against the OSB, and then the edge of the guide is flat against my wood guide. And I can run it all the way down just like that. I have to be careful, kind of take my time. It's important to let the saw blade do the cutting. Don't try to force it. And I just gotta be careful not to fall off the ladder. So I'm gonna set this camera up, find my safety glasses, and let's see how these cuts go. All right, so a quick look at my work so far. I can tell I'm not getting as far in there as I need to be. So I need to make a little adjustment to my saw blade. Not much, not gonna take much more. So I'm gonna unplug the saw, make my adjustment, and get back at it. All right, next step, get a wet wash rag, wipe all that stuff off the back of my neck. Kind of itches. I don't know. Not gonna touch this one. All right, back, just wipe down my neck with a wet washcloth. Feel so much better. It's the little things, right? So I have a pry bar somewhere. No clue where it's at right now, other than it's in the garage. It is a mess. So it dawned on me, I need to do a video where I organize my garage. I give you a tour of how unorganized it is, how nasty, to be honest, and then what I do to organize it. And we're going to do that probably over a weekend or something like that. So that'll be coming up. Anyway, don't have my pry bar. I do got a hammer with a claw. So see if we can get this done. That's not panning out. Got another idea. Time to join the chickens. All right, got it nice and started. Got a little gap in there now. Too much for this view, but I got the screen. It's just a tinted aluminum screen. I had tinted before, so I was going to use it on the cabin, but ended up not using it right away. So that's what I used on that side. And since I used it on that side, I'm going to use it on this side as well. What I'm going to do is just staple it up just like that. Now I'm going to cut it out, roll up the rest, save it for another project. Maybe we'll put a window on the front door sometime. But let's knock this one out first. All right, opened up pretty nice, don't you think? I think the hens are really going to enjoy that. Let's take a look inside. Of course, it's not finished yet. Yeah. Now, I kept them in the dark for a long time with a heating lamp. But this right here, we're not going to need the heating lamp anymore. That's kind of dangerous anyway. But, you know, it's starting to heat up. And we'll open up these windows, for one, let the air through. And then they'll be able to tell a little bit better when it's dark and when it's light, because they have circadian rhythms a lot like we do. And when it's real bright and sunny, they lay a lot more eggs. When it gets into the winter hours and stays dark longer, and this doesn't get quite bright, they stop laying as many eggs. So I think it's important for them to be able to experience the light and the darkness and everything that comes down. Oh, you gotta check this out. Oh, they got down. But I guess they're figuring out their pecking order. Let's see if we... Alright. Not sure if you can see, but I didn't have enough to finish. What are we gonna do? Well, it's pretty simple. I could use that down there, but it's a big, long, lengthy row, and I might have a need for it later to be that wide. So what I'm gonna do is grab some that I have in the garage. We're just run it from here to here. A little bit of overlap isn't gonna hurt anything, and then we're gonna trim it up. All right, so now that little piece of trim that we used as a guide for the circular saw, we're going to transfer it. We're going to move it up. It's going to become the trim for the bottom part of the window. I got another piece here to be the top, and we got a piece that we can cut for the two end pieces. And then I believe we'll call it done for now. We'll talk about paint later. All right, got the two parallel pieces up. They're running long ways, so now we're going to do the end pieces of trim. Broke out the miter saw, no major adjustments there. Just make sure that you got 0 degrees on the miter feature there. And already got the measurements marked out, so I'm going to make those cuts now. I like the miter saw. I just think it's a much safer saw to use because it's sitting down on a flat surface. You don't have to worry about it really kicking back on you. I just really don't care for the circular saw too much. I like the table saw. With the table saw, you have some similar issues as well with kickback and things like that. But enough of that for now. Maybe I'll do a little tutorial of what I know about power tools and how to use them safely and things like that in another video. Let's go ahead and get these nailed up. Whenever I'm not in too big of a hurry and I think about it, I like to go ahead and get the nails started, especially when working on a ladder, so that way you don't have to try to hold it steady. Everything, especially, it doesn't really matter if it's a short piece or a long piece. I think the long pieces definitely, you know, something you want to do on that, especially if you're working by yourself. All right, so got it finished up here. I'm gonna show you what we got. So not too bad, it does the function, and it's just a chicken coop. And so I still gonna have to figure out, you know, what I want to do with that trim there. But later on when I get ready to paint, I can fix that up real quick. And if you watched it this far, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what color you think I should paint the chicken coop. Let me give you another shot of it here. Now I'm thinking red with white trim or red with brown trim, maybe brown with red trim. I don't know. Let me know what you think, what you like. I might just use it because I haven't made a decision yet. Any other designs you think would go on there? Any other features you think should go on there? While I was waiting for the battery to charge, I was running low on battery. I took all the extra wood shelving down that was down there. I'm about to start working on the perches, or the roost, I guess I should say, where they perch. So that'll be in another video. But man, check this out. Love watching the chickens. I was over there trying to give himself a dust bath, and I think that one's trying to help him, or maybe even do the same. I think that might be the two roosters right there. Yeah, they look about the same size. They came in together. But you know, a few of you tell me you like when I share scriptures in the videos, and I haven't done that lately. I do have my own or other channel, I guess I should say, where, you know, that's what I do. I, you know, do the devotions and stuff like that. I do want to share you messages of hope, and I found this, you know, just thought, well, you know, I need to do another verse. So I kind of looked up, just kind of Google searched, you know, verses for farmers and things like that, and came across Job. Is was chapter 12, and this is from the Message, and some of y'all might not care for the Message or anything other than King James, and that's fine. I certainly have an appreciation for the King James Version. But this is from the Message, and I like the way it words it. It's Job chapter 12, starting with verse 7. But ask the animals what they think. Let them teach you. Let the birds tell you what's going on. Put your ear to the earth. Learn the basics. Listen. The fish in the ocean will tell you their stories. Isn't it clear that all they know and agree that God is sovereign? That he holds all things in his hand? Every living soul, yes, every breathing creature? Isn't this all just common sense? As common as the sense of taste? You know, and I've been thinking about that. I looked that up probably over an hour ago. I've been thinking a lot on that. Maybe that's why I like to watch animals so much. Maybe that's why I like to, you know, spend time with my dog and, you know, watch the chickens and things like that. It's something peaceful about it, and you know, I think they get that this wasn't all, you know, this creation wasn't all an accident. It's creation by design. Yes, and even the birds realize it. It's funny, they do have instincts. You know, I didn't have to tell them what that grub terra stuff was that I showed you earlier. They knew automatically that it was food. It was going to be good for them. And that's what got them eating out of my hand. They never did that before. They have instincts to take baths in the dirt, a dust bath. And what that does, it keeps mites off of them. And somehow they know that. It's common sense to them. It's an instinct to them. So anyway, I like that passage out of Job. Job's a very difficult book to get through sometimes. I do appreciate what he says there in those verses. Job 12:7. I think we went a little further than 12. If you want to look that up. Hey, if you watched this far, definitely appreciate you guys for watching, guys and gals. Love you. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Ring the notification bell so you can see or get notifications every time I put a new video out. And hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you liked about the video, what color you think I should paint the coop. What do you want to see in future videos? I got a whole bunch of projects here. I could do one just for you, video. So let me know what you think. I love getting the emails, and the group's still small enough now to where no reason I can't respond to every email. And I appreciate every comment that y'all leave, email that you leave me, all that good stuff. All right, well, I'm gonna let you go. I'll probably put a few more moments of the chickens down here, maybe Paris running around so y'all can see. Love you, and see you in the next video. Let's see if we can get them another moment. It's so fun watching them. They're not one. Oh, I think he's or she's gonna show me the first time coming out of the coop. She's thinking about it. I'll tell you what, she's brave enough. I might let her walk around a little bit out here, scratch around. Paris, the hillside dog, is out here somewhere, so I gotta be mindful of her. I'm still working on her. Isn't that so cool? Love watching watching these chickens. So much fun. Sometimes I don't get as much work done as watching them. Oh, you gonna come out? You gonna come out? No? So much out right there. That's the one I believe that comes up and says hi to me quite a bit. Alright. Time to get back to it.